Hi, I'm Jim Frith, founder of Top Fit Pros. I am an advocate for exercise done right, exercise that leads to a better quality of life, to good health outcomes, and a longer life. I'm an advocate for injury avoidance. Let me repeat that, injury avoidance. Did you know that the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services says that more than 80% of adults do not meet the guidelines for both aerobic and muscle strengthening activities? 80%. Why do you suppose that is? A lot of these folks in the 80% are very smart. Many of them are hardworking and ambitious. This group that doesn't get enough exercise should never be characterized as lazy or dumb. Yet, they typically already know that lack of exercise leads to poor health outcomes, low quality of life, and early death. Sedentary living is worse for you than smoking cigarettes. So, why don't they exercise? To understand their perspective a little better, let's look at this from a different angle. A few years ago, there was a craze sweeping America that had people coming out of sedentary living and into intense exercise and competition with each other very quickly. This was typified by a program called CrossFit. In 2014, a study was published in the Orthopedic Journal of Sports Medicine about the injuries associated with this type of training. They found in the study that it resulted in 2.4 injuries per 1,000 hours of training. What that translates to is that if people work out 3 times a week for a year, that means 156 hours a year of training. It would take about 6.5 years for the average injury to occur. Now that doesn't seem too bad, right? Well, it's a big deal if you happen to be one of the people who gets hurt. So let's look at those numbers again and look at them a little differently. The researchers found that most of the injuries occurred due to poor form and muscle fatigue. Again, poor form and muscle fatigue. So who do you suppose gets hurt? Who do you suppose has poor form and muscle fatigue? Is it the people who are very athletic, who have been working out for many years and have been trained in proper form and have very high levels of conditioning? Not likely. Those seasoned athletes may rack up a lot of hours with zero injuries, and they skew the results to make that competitive training look safe. Then along come those in the 80% who've been sitting on the couch or in front of a computer day in and day out. They have little experience with exercise and no understanding of proper form, and their muscles quickly fatigue. Those are the ones getting hurt. In fact, you may already have the experience of trying to start an exercise program and quickly getting injured. And I'm not just talking about CrossFit, I'm talking about with any exercise program. That experience may have led you to conclude, as an intelligent self-starter, that jumping quickly into a super challenging exercise program does not work for you. Well, I completely agree with you. By definition, if you're in that 80% who's not been getting adequate exercise, you're particularly at risk of injury when you start back to exercise. You should not be jumping into competitive training at a high intensity level while you're still learning proper biomechanics and building up your stamina. What you need is a bridge to fitness. And you need a guide who knows the way. I'll be your guide. I'm here to build that bridge with you and to help you to walk across it. There's another reason why you shouldn't be jumping immediately into high intensity workouts. There are lots of people who make the decision to become fit, and then they try to make it happen instantly. They push super hard right away at the beginning of their new journey to fitness. And most commonly, they don't get hurt. But excessive soreness stops them. The day after their first really hard workout, they have a great difficulty getting out of bed. And then they barely move throughout the day because they're so sore. That's counterproductive. It reduces their activity level instead of increasing it, and it makes recovery from the workout much slower because their muscles are all clogged up with lactic acid in the tissue area around the muscles. So they're not getting fed in the muscles as well as they would have if they didn't overdo the first workout and become so sore. The reality is that progress happens in recovery, not during the workouts. The workouts set you up for recovery. But if you work out so hard that you're super, super sore, you don't recover as quickly, you don't recover as effectively, and you don't progress as rapidly. So it's much better to go easy and slow at first, and then over time, build up. Plus, if you're pushing yourself too hard, you do set yourself up for injury, and you may be one of those unfortunate ones because it's very common in the fitness world for people to get hurt in the first 4 to 6 weeks after starting a new exercise program. So adaptation happens. Your body gets better. It adapts to the new reality of your life, which is that you're exercising. But you have to work with your body. You have to allow the body to recover and develop at an appropriate pace. So don't overload it with intense exercise right off the bat. After you've been exercising some for a period of time, you begin to gradually increase the intensity, and your body is capable of handling it. You push yourself only when you gain confidence that you know how hard your body can be pushed without harm. And when you've learned functional movement patterns that will substantially reduce your chances of injury. Proper guidance and the habit of exercise are the keys. Now, you may be tempted at first to believe that you're so far out of shape that it's hopeless. But the reality is that no matter how deconditioned you are, your body will actually become more fit at an amazing pace. Everybody's in their own journey. You're coming from wherever you are to wherever you can go. But you can dramatically improve your fitness levels in a fairly short period of time without pushing yourself so hard that you're just racked with soreness or at high level risk of injury. You don't want to put yourself in that situation. What you do want to do is intelligently, gradually increase and establish a habit of exercise while you learn proper form. That will lengthen your life and it will improve the quality of your life by quite a lot. So this is my mission, to help you to learn to move functionally and to give you a safe path to establish a habit of exercise that will lead you to a longer and better life. So come join me for workouts at Top Fit Bros. Start out with very low intensity workouts that work on your biomechanics, balance, stability, and core. Then, as soon as you're ready, and you decide that, when are you ready, you can graduate to low intensity, then moderate intensity. And if at some point you feel that even the moderate intensity workouts are no longer challenging enough for you, then by all means you can level up to the high intensity workouts. And we have those too, and a lot of them. No one will push you to go faster than you should. This is your journey. But I hope you'll let me walk it with you.